Hi guys, Rando Gamer here with our next session of Souls of Steel. This is session 25 of Souls of Steel, and it's getting into towards the climax here. There's still a handful of sessions left in here, but the party kind of finishes up their time with the free captains before they make their way out to Aucturn. Um, they kind of spitball their game plan and end up going to meet with the Ichor King, or specifically the Ichor King in charge of the Black Citadel, to make an attempt at maybe forming an alliance. Because it's becoming more and more apparent that the inner circle kind of is out to get him at this point. And that whole interaction is one to see for yourself. So I don't want to spoil anything there. But kind of building up to uh, the shipyards, and the session ends off with them arriving there and getting ready to interact with Ronan Steele. But if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, and if you like my content and want to make sure you don't miss any of it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, here is session 25 of Souls of Steel.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. This is session 25 of the Souls of Steel. Wow, 25. Quite the long trek we've made here. In our last session, we kind of finished up some starship combat initially. So, a cloaked swarm vessel had just come up on your guys' sensors. And you guys had kind of vectored to attack it as the asteroid had come into proximity as well. So kind of linking up with Levada, you guys were able to make fairly quick work of the remaining swarm vessel before going to dock with them and kind of deliver the message you had been given by the Inner Circle. You guys have been treated to a pretty elegant Carthassian meal. Essentially a curry with a Carthassian whiskey, which was kind of like a spice spirit. During this, you guys had given her the message from the Inner Circle, and she willingly opened it up in front of all of you guys so that you guys could hear the message as well.
Hell yeah.
You guys had also been allotted 10,000 credits at this point in time, so that had been deposited into the joint account you guys had set up. The hologram had then appeared with Asher Vox, essentially requesting aid from Levada because they didn't have the same sort of naval experience that the free captains did. So he was hoping that she would assist with the defense of Aucturn and the greater Pact Worlds when the time came. Essentially, he was going to give her 1 million credits per vessel that she sent out there. Part of what was unsettling about this whole conversation, though, and I say conversation, it was a message. He had mentioned that he knew the Revengers by name and more or less the things that they had been up to, and that while the Revengers had been getting in the Inner Circle's hair, at the moment their objectives aligned as far as clearing out the swarm. Once the message had ended, she had kind of left it up to you guys to kind of weigh in on your thoughts. Eventually, T had asked directly whether or not she was going to accept this deal, and she more or less said that she was leaning towards it because, as far as she could see, it was a win-win for her because she was going to get 1 million for credits for simply sending them out to Aucturn, and in her opinion, if the tide turned, she would just turn tail and run. So it was minimal amount of risk for her to send her ships. During this conversation, she did mention that she felt that the Inner Circle would probably turn on the Revengers as soon as the swarm threat was taken care of, which T had asked if the free captains would have his back at that point. And she had basically said it depends on when the backstabbing happens, because if the free captains aren't nearby, then there's not much they could do, even though she more or less would like to prevent him from being killed.
Right.
Eventually, you guys have come to the conclusion that you guys needed to kind of be on edge and expect to get screwed over at some point, but there's not really anything to change in your current approach. Everybody else had been kind of trepidatious of like working with Levada, but Elite had mentioned that he actually kind of really liked the Free Captain style and was thinking about joining up officially, even though he was kind of tangentially related by being part of the Revengers. T had then had a conversation with her by himself. Before that. T, kind of trying to get a little bit more in with the Free Captains, or at least know what their next objective was, had got Levada to mention a score on Liavara, which was essentially a rare source of radium, which is a unique power source in the solar system.
Yeah.
And really what it amounted to is because of like the vast gas part of the planet, most ships aren't able to get down to where the radium is without getting torn up by the solar winds that are in there. After that, T had his conversation with Levada by himself, not knowing that John had put a bug on him and was listening into the entire conversation. Levada had revealed during the Conquistador that T had become incredibly aggressive, and that due to his ramming approach, she had ended up taking credit for the maneuver because it ended up taking out a decent amount of the enemy fleet. But he didn't remember it happening, so it was easier for her to kind of like take the credit for it. Plus, he went on his sabbatical almost immediately after the events of that. So,
profited off your mental slip.
She basically said that when they finally had time to kind of confront T about his personality shift, he had decided to go on a sabbatical. And had found that out from T during this conversation that he had started to make some progress with Besmara. She had then mentioned that he had been referring to himself as X during his personality shift, which kind of gave him a little bit better inklings of what's going on with him and his Karen form. T had then tried to get a little bit more power as far as the Free Captains was concerned, and was working with her on potentially leading a fleet. She had agreed to lending him 3 vessels during the upcoming battle on Aucturn, and if he does well there, that he potentially would get to keep them and have his own mini fleet.
Cool.
Before their conversation ends, she had given a warning about Aucturn, basically saying that the landscape itself can drive people mad. And that what she's heard from the work site you guys are potentially going to is about 50% of the workforce is dying basically every time it's getting reported. So she didn't give like a specific timeline on that, if it's like every day or like every month, but just basically that they're losing about 50% of the workforce.
That was Free Captains?
No, this is the Inner Circle site.
Aucturn.
So
That's right. On Aucturn. Okay.
And then she had kind of offered up the asteroid for you guys' sort of downtime. Meeting back up, you guys had kind of discussed the whole thing with the Free Captains. John and Raya kind of leaning a little bit concerned about Levada and her really only being after money and how much T is tied to her. John is trying to be hopeful that T is more connected to the Revengers than the Free Captains, but he's not sure. Raya was very, very concerned that T is more ingrained with the Free Captains. The party had kind of decided to take about 4 days on the asteroid for some downtime. During this, T had done some meditating in the Hollow Room, where he had been able to activate his Karen form, and in a reflection, he saw a Free Captain pirate from old, Xenophon, who is someone he had idled growing up. And this is kind of his illusion that his deep personality is based off of this very barbaric, brutal free captain who kind of led with the primary technique of ramming enemy vessels, and his greatest achievement was basically forcing the PWC to recognize the free captains as owners of the Dysphoria.
Wow. A Blackbeard, if you will.
More or less. Elite had spent some time learning about the free captains and how they operate, really kind of leaning into potentially wanting to join up with them. Basically, he had learned that they have a sort of code they operate with of like, they don't attack like medical or like support vehicles, more or less just taking money from those that are well off and using it for their gain. Raya had done some research on the planet itself, where she had learned that it's referred to as a stranger, mostly because a lot of people believe it to be an egg for a like old outer god, like Cthulhu-like type creature. The biggest landmark on the planet is the Black Citadel, which a Ichor Lord sort of rules over. The gravity and mass are about 2 times Galarian standard. Its days vary in length, so there's not a consistent how fast it's rotating. But it is about 500 Galarian years for 1 year on Aucturn because of how far out it is from the the sun.
Wow.
It's a protectorate of the PWC, but does not have a representative. And the climate on it is pretty rough with poisonous clouds, flesh-like land, and black ichor flowing through it.
Jesus.
They learn that the Ichor Lord Carsai, the king, is the ruler of it, and
Isn't he like a cool guy or some shit?
he comes off as very mellow comparatively with all the nightmare creatures on there, which a lot of people are concerned that means that he's probably like overlooking the birth of this nightmare creature from this egg. After this, John had kind to go do some practice on the holodeck with the increased gravity, and he had done some research on radium, basically learning that because it's a metal that has innate energy properties to it, it can basically be plugged into stuff without having to actually be fitted. So it's basically like all-encompassing. It's like a naturally occurring battery.
Yeah.
So there's the refinement process for it is basically non-existent. You guys had spitballed staying 4 days on the asteroid and then heading out immediately after that to Aucturn, which would still put you on Aucturn about 3 days in advance, with the consensus being of maybe trying to meet with this Ichor Lord and getting some allies on Aucturn before going over to the shipyards. That was at least one thought process. Someone had mentioned maybe trying to go purchase weapons and stuff like that before going as well, because you guys have already been briefed up on there not really being a way to buy anything once you get out to Aucturn because there's no civilization out there essentially.
Right.
T had gone around the ship kind of trying to work on his bluff skills a little bit, interacting with pirates, which he had a little bit of trouble just because you're trying to one-up a one-upper, essentially.
Right.
But he did have a conversation with Raya during this period as well. And Raya basically had expressed her concern with his connection with Levada, and that she believes that T is more like Levada than he is the rest of the Revengers, and how his motives work. And she directly asked him if it came down to it and he had to pick between the Free Captains and the Revengers, which would he choose, and he couldn't give an answer.
That's right. I remember. She did the same thing to John when he was having a crisis with Reggie.
Raya
I'm
basically
literally the most paranoid person ever.
Raya basically landed on that she's not confident in his allegiance and kind of like lets the conversation in there with it, her still kind of feeling that he may betray the Revengers when the time comes. Elite had attempted to do some research on the creatures on Aucturn, but didn't have much success. And then it went on to work on his survival skill. And that's more or less where we left off. So we hadn't pegged how many days have been consumed at this point. I only annotated one because like there was for sure 1 day spent. So as we get started here, if there's anything you're still wanting to do on the asteroid or with the free captains, we can do that first, and then we can kind of go from there on. If you are really using all 4 days with the asteroid, or if you want to make some other trips before heading out to Aucturn.
Yeah. Is there, like, do we have a medical bay on our ship? I don't remember. Next question. If we do we have any medical, like, equipment that would allow for me to, like, what's those things that spin the blood to separate stuff out? Centrifuge.
Yes. On your guys' ship, you don't have one dedicated, but you could easily make the holodeck project one. On the asteroid, there is a medical bay with that type of equipment already set up and actively used.
Perfect. I would like to find T. Where are you at?
I would probably at this point he's just kind of shooting the shit, like almost making the game out of seeing who can tell the biggest tale without
cracking.
Without cracking.
Sure.
With just more or less as a drinking game at like one of the bars.
Hi. Hello, T. Are you with your other mates?
At this point, it's just whoever is in the, like,
Okay.
It's almost turned into like a pseudo shanty.
Sure. I just come up to you. Hello, T. I have this right here. You can see I have like a glass vial that's about this big.
What is that for?
Well, I was wondering, would you consent to me testing your blood?
I kind of look around.
Oh, and
This is a bit more personal than I like.
So that's a no.
What do you need my blood for? I will tell you that my blood is a little tainted at the moment.
That's exactly why I want your blood right now. I want to analyze your DNA. Has this cared form? Does it come from within you, or I don't know. But maybe if it is, maybe we could.
Is John going to get a blood sample in both forms?
I need you to be more clear. I'm sorry. I've had a little bit.
Do you mind if I take this and I pull out a syringe and put it into your arm? If not, I think I'll go back
You
and
put
take.
me in a little bit of a vulnerable position. Because now if I say no, I feel like an asshole. But if I say yes, you're doing it in front of everybody.
Oh, we can step aside, or they can turn around if you like.
Okay, John. I'll follow you out.
It's for the better good. I hope you haven't had any apples lately as I stab him in the arm.
Like on our way out of the freaking
You're
bar?
in the, you're in the door.
Yeah, I'll wait until we like pass around.
Okay.
I just like to get a sample of his blood.
T, you'll take 1 piercing damage from the approach that John took to this.
Okay.
It's not enough to.
If it hurts, that must mean you must have had an apple recently.
Wait, when's your last tetanus shot?
Is that really a thing?
Mm-hmm. My +6 in medicine says so.
He pulls up his
Wrong.
actual stat
I'm
sheet.
questioning your methods because of my plus 13 in medicine.
I didn't graduate. Thank you. Got it? Alright, I just want to run some tests. Do I find some Cairn sort of DNA? Like, I'm almost thinking like Venom and Peter Parker's sort of like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, give me a life science roll.
Trying
Perfect.
to test for symbiote.
Yes. Can I roll for symbiote? That's gonna be 18.
Oh, the way you made it sounded like it was a really crap roll.
Well, it could have been a lot better.
As you're kind of inspecting the blood, the Lashunta physiology is one you haven't interacted with as much.
Sure.
So you're having to kind of like get over the hurdle of like analyzing an alien race's blood first. And there is some differences in it, but you're not sure what the basis is. You know that when mystics start to really become into their own power, and this goes for all the spellcasting races in general, so technomancers, precogs, witch warpers, and mystics, all of them, from what you've read medically, there is something slightly different with their blood. Like it's been
Midichlorians.
blessed, essentially.
Okay.
You don't know if that's what this is or if there's something extra. So essentially, you're going to need to have a base sample to compare against. So you basically need blood from another mystic to be able to compare if there's something different between his mystic blood and another's, leading to like the Karen form gene.
John will also think to himself, maybe I must trigger an episode and get a sample then. And I'll just kind of think as I watch the centrifuge spin around and around.
Perfect. Okay. What's the general consensus on time on the asteroid? Are you guys wanting to commit to 4 days here, or are you guys wanting to spend some time other places before going out to Aucturn? You guys technically have about 7 days, 6-ish now, with how much time you have already spent with the asteroid, but
Being that we don't really... Oh, go ahead, please, go.
There we go. I don't really remember. Did he accomplish all the missions we had like taken on already?
the one that you have left is the one that requires you to go out to Aucturn.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
But that one you don't have to report until about 6 days from now.
Got it. At least Elite, like, doesn't care to stay, like, longer than we need to, but, like, if people are doing stuff, you'll find things to do, you know? So.
I say that, though we don't really know the exact condition of the place that we're going to be going to, we have some hints. I think it's best that we have more time than needed. Better than needed. Better to...
Have it and not need it.
Something about a clock being right.
Then have it and not need it, then need it and not have it.
Yeah, thank you. As I kind of like slowly look over to John.
Do I have something in my teeth?
No, just my blood.
No. It's,
He opens up his chest cavity.
it's on ice in here, dude. Personally, in my opinion, I'm down to stay as long as we need to. John's, as much as he knows it's the next task up ahead that they must tackle, isn't necessarily gunning to go to the planet of living hell and nightmares. So, you know. Well, I guess, I don't know.
I guess the big question is, do you guys need any other gear before going to Aucturn?
Let's see.
I feel like
I
I'm
think
good.
I'm okay.
Really, the only difference between before you guys left Absalom Station and now is you picked up another 10,000 credits collectively. So if there were some items that you were on the fence about purchasing, you might be able to make them now.
Though that was a nice lump sum, I don't think that's enough still for what I'm looking to buy. I think I'm fine. I'm ready to go, but I'm also willing to wait if people want to stay.
I'm kind of go as well.
Same.
Okay. As you guys are making your way back over to your ship, kind of basically you're having your goodbyes with Levada. T, she'll pass you a messaging device. Give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. That is 17.
She'll briefly make eye contact with you, and you can feel sort of like a presence against your mind. Basically, she doesn't have the innate ability to initiate a mental link, but you get the vibe that she's wanting you to link with her.
She wants you to purge her mind.
I'll do it, and in the same motion, without making eye contact, we'll tether the link.
In your mind, you'll hear her, "Do not play that message until you are in the drift. Even on this ship, there are informants everywhere."
About 10?
And then the link will close, and she'll wish you, everyone, good luck on your adventures out of Aucturn. Kind of giving the warning of what Aucturn entails again, and then she'll leave you guys to it.
Is there a standard salute that the free captains have?
Yeah.
You get the vibe that there might have been at one time, and like there's a couple of like the diehard ones that like start to go do it towards you guys as you're departing, and she like waves it off like we don't do that anymore, and walks down the hallway.
Okay.
Can you remind me of what she had given?
A messaging device. So
Yeah,
basically,
she
like,
gave you a little tape recorder.
That she asked to not have
she told you to wait till you guys were in the
out
drift
of-
to activate it.
inside the drift. Okay.
You guys heading straight to Aucturn now?
I think so. Yeah.
Let me pull up Glarb's stuff so I can give you how long this trip in the drift is going to take. You have a cider?
Yes. You just buy from the store and put a bunch of stuff in the pouch and that's it?
Yeah, I think honestly, I didn't know the particulars, but I think she put like some of the cardamom, like
Cloves
Starlies,
and whatever.
cloves, that type of stuff.
Starlies, yeah. Cinnamon.
Yes. The nutmeg in there.
Oh, well, it's very good. I love it.
It's going to take you guys about 3 hours in the drift to get from the Dysphoria out to Aucturn. So as you guys kind of get on the ship, Glarb will get situated up at the console there, and we'll kind of like plot out a course. So basically you'll see the drift open, and then it'll plot a course through the debris and everything that exists inside the drift, and then it comes out to about 3 hours with the course that he was able to make.
Oh, yeah.
Anything happening at this point on the ship as you guys are kind of entering into the drift.
Are we gonna know anything more about his blood, Shanty's blood?
That depends on what John decides to do now that he's done his initial test. And if he shared with anybody else that he even did it except for T.
Yeah, I can bring it up. We'll like maybe meet up in this on the poop deck. What's it called? The star deck? No.
The command deck?
Command deck. There we go.
I mean, if you want to go to the poop deck, by all means.
So I know we have some time to kill, roughly about 3.5 hours, and I wanted to share some news. I pull out 2 different vials. You can see in one vial a blood sample, and another vial that has like all the plasma and stuff removed from it. This is a sample of T's blood. I, in my robotic mind, was very curious to see if maybe what T is experiencing is more than just a mental trigger, and maybe it has something to do with his actual DNA. And it turns out that that may or may not be the case.
So you're in the same place that you were before you started.
No, now I know I need to run more tests. I, for example, think it would be very much a positive thing if we were somehow to trigger an episode and get your blood.
God. I don't know if positive is the right word for that.
Or maybe something a little bit less traumatizing. We can find another mystic and get some of their blood. I don't know. You guys are making me feel like I'm some sort of weird guy. I just thought I was helping out a friend. By testing
I'm
his
gonna
blood.
kind of lean back in my chair. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna like lean back in my chair. I'm surprised Shanty even let you take his blood.
He was drunk, so it was pretty easy.
Well, at least we know John is honest.
I think before we start poking me with sticks until my Karen form comes out, we take a look at this first.
What?
Lavada had given
Really?
me a... Jesus, you just said it.
Some sort of communication device?
Giving me a communication device containing a message only to be read while in the drift. I'm not sure what's on it, but now's the time.
Hopefully nothing embarrassing for you, T.
We can't get any more invasive than what you had done to me and showed off to the entire group.
I thought we would. I am not a licensed medical practitioner.
Yeah, we know.
Dr. Ziz.
Hey, I'd like to open up John's chest cavity to put in the messaging device to have it project from his eyes.
Yeah, like R2D2.
As I'm talking about you, like, invading my personal, like, space and, like, my blood and stuff. I'm just opening up your chest and putting it in there.
You have to don't forget about the Aucturn or there'll be no audio.
I plug it into a few of the different ports. Obviously not the correct ports.
Ouch.
Yeah, at first it plays like it plays like a brief clip of like John and the rest of the Revengers out in the hallway while you're having your meeting with Lavada, and he has to like quickly like
No.
But eventually it is able to be pulled up. T, I would have liked to tell you this in person, but the inner circle has spies everywhere. Even using them mentally can be tough since some of their assets are psychics. I wanted to warn you that Asher has already made it clear that the plan is to immediately destroy your vessel as soon as they believe they will win the battle with the swarm.
Oh my Christ.
I highly advise staying away from any obvious Pact World vessels and stick to the Free Captain assets. Some of mine could potentially be compromised as well, but I don't know at the moment. I will allow you to pick the captains of your 3 additional vessels when the time comes so that you have some greater control in the coming battle. I wish I could give you better news, but the Celestial Seas are giving a grim horizon at the moment. I don't believe in Besmara myself, but since you have put some faith in her, I hope that she gives you what you need. May the stars guide you. Well, love.
What about that last part?
That's what you're worried about? Well, to be honest, I'm not surprised, and we even suspected something like this may happen.
Yes.
So, the one guys are turning on us?
They're not turning on us yet, waiting until we're vulnerable.
They're waiting until we
never
deal
like,
with them.
directly said they were working with you.
Yeah, they want us to basically do the job and then they'll kill us afterwards.
That's good.
It's very... I mean,
What?
we were having a controversial discussion on this very topic, but now I feel like our place has been very much more cemented. Do you disagree? As he looks over to Raya.
I definitely agree that there is something off that makes me curious to see what that future holds.
T won't respond.
So, basically, we're just going to keep hating the PWC just like I have been the last couple of weeks.
We are still aligned within the same goal. We have to use them just like they're using us. Ultimately, we want the same thing, but when the thing we want is accomplished, we need to figure out an escape plan, preferably several.
What if, now this is a big what if, but what if we get in bed with this ruler of Aucturn and use him as ammunition against the PWC, because Aucturn is all hands off, no one wants to mess around with it. So if we kind of sploosh into there, maybe we could use that as a way to
Leverage more power.
or even a bigger threat against the swarm. I don't know.
I like it. We don't have a whole lot of options at this point, but red herring or not, that may be our best chance for an advantageous position going forward.
Well,
What's going to be our backup plan?
honestly, we may have to just play it safe and really try to not stray too far from the Free Captain's site. Because it sounds like the PWC is whenever they're ready, we're toast.
Elite, what do you think?
What if, hear me out, we get a lot of guns.
Okay, I like where this is going.
I do too. Keep going.
Maybe some weapons of mass destruction.
Okay,
Getting better.
it's getting better.
In short, I don't know.
Yeah, you
All
lead
ready
us.
except for us.
Yeah, pretty much. Is there like... Because like what I'm understanding is like basically like as soon as like we finish this defense, they're gonna like turn on us like at Aucturn, theoretically.
Yeah, the
Potentially.
way it's worded is she implied that if it looks like you guys are going to win the battle, they plan on turning on you in the midst of battle, basically trying to use the battle as a screen.
Maybe we take this approach, which is likely just as risky as completing the job entirely. make it seem like we're not going to complete it.
I'll make them think it's not going good? How?
That the PWC has to jump in to help us because we are so helpless and the situation is getting out of control. And then we betray first.
Oh boy.
But how do we do that without putting ourselves in a vulnerable position?
Going there, we're already in a vulnerable position. I'm just saying, we out-coup the coup.
You can't coup
How
us,
do
we
we
coup
betray
you.
them, though?
I don't know. But we do need to be thinking, because we could be very much going into a death trap, but if we refuse to go, the same could be said anyway.
The thing is,
So,
I have an idea. I don't know how well it would work. We have a few days. But, like, my basic thought is, like, can we somehow not actually go, but have them think we're there? Like, can we find a party that is
that looks vaguely like
kind of
us.
like us, but yeah, that, or like, just like find some people, disguise them with magic or whatever, and like have them go impersonate us. And in that case, like, and maybe not tell them that
Bradley might die.
I
But
like
then-
where your head's at, Elite.
They
To
like,
clarify,
they go instead. We just never go. They, if this party somehow is good and they actually like win, they get killed instead of us. And
So you're
and if
proposing.
not, I don't know.
So you're proposing.
So instead of sending the Revengers, we're gonna send the actual Avengers.
So you're proposing we send in another group and put them in the same exact position that we are in. So we are diverting the force to another party as a scapegoat.
But what if that party gets their own party to do the job, and it's turned all the way down?
And somehow we get back into the
No.
loop.
I do have one.
We get hired by the other party.
So, I know they're planning to betray us, but when we talk about betraying them first, are we talking about just the group, or are we talking about the entire government? Are we talking about having to replace an entire government? Like the PWC, are we going to have to replace? Are we taking down the people that work for PWC, or are we taking down PWC itself? And if so, are we going to replace that with the free captains, or are we going to? I read in the research that I was doing while we were in hyperspace. There's something called the American way, where we just go in and we nuke everything and we just put in whatever thing we want. Seems like a strategy we should put on the table.
I see
I'm
the
not
point
good
you're
at
trying to
American ways,
make.
but I like it.
I see the point that you're trying to make, but the problem is we are acting purely in self-defense. We have just found out that we are very likely to be killed going here, if not by the forces or the environment, but by the people who hired us to go in the first place.
We could also not fight back, maybe get to a point where things are going well in the battle, and we dip. Or maybe we...
so to clarify, because I think we're focusing on stuff on Aucturn, this is implied during the fight with the Swarm fleet in space.
I see.
Just to clarify,
Okay, yes.
That makes sense.
Thank you for the clarification. Yes, I was getting a little out of hand over here.
I mean, I love the
Because,
whole doppelganger shtick, but that might not fit when the betrayal may or may not happen.
That's right,
I
okay.
think once the attack
that
on the
helps.
swarm actually happens, that we need to ally strongly with the free captains. By this point, if we are successful on this mission, we will have several of fleets under our own banner. But from what Levada has already said, that if things go well on this mission, the free captains will have our back when it comes to defending us against the PWC. But if we diverge too far, they won't be able to do anything for us.
Well,
Yeah.
Guys, it's like
Go for it.
the swarm was going in like 2-3 weeks or something like that, right? Was it a month? It was like
Something like
somewhat
that.
close. I
roughly
remember.
about 48 days left.
Oh,
Okay, so like more like
Yeah, it's a little less than a month. You guys have been very, very conservative with your time, or I guess about a month and a half. You guys have been pretty conservative with your time since you got the ticking clock.
Okay, copy. Okay, so this is not like as immediate as an issue as...
not necessarily. We still have time to get it worked out.
It will very quickly become a situation that will get out of control.
The big thing is the fleet, the PWC fleet is not complete. That's why you guys are going up to Aucturn to begin with. So it's implied that you need about 3 weeks minimum for the shipyards to be completed, assuming you guys don't have any setbacks on the planet.
Yeah. Is there... That raises an interesting idea for me. Since we're going to be there, we're not really going to be technicians, we're hired vessel, but is there a way that somehow we can put like a defect into like at least these new ships? Or just like a bomb? Or like something that we can like use, like if and at this point it sounds like when they turn against us, we can at least take out some of them. And hopefully we're amassing, we at least are going to get a few ships. Hopefully.
Elite,
This goes well.
based
But,
off
like,
of... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Based off
amass our stuff and try to sabotage their stuff since we have some privilege near at least some new assets they're creating.
Based off of your previous mercenary work, you would know that it is feasible. Whether or not it's going to be easy is a different story. Based off of your interactions with the Revengers at this point, you know the technical expertise is there between Raya and Rejuvenor, and even Delilah, who's also a technomancer. Putting in a doomsday device or a failsafe if they turn on you is definitely a potential, but being on a black site compound that is directly ran by the inner circle, you know that there's going to be high risk of actually achieving this. The amount of stealth involved,
Or even clearance.
and deception, those types of things, you know that until you get to the site, the feasibility of it is going to kind of be, or the difficulty of it is going to be kind of up in the air until you get to see what it looks like in person.
We already went through the drift to...
You guys are currently in drift. I would say by this point in the conversation, you guys are probably about 30 to 45 minutes into your 3-hour travel time.
Well, I say we get boots on the ground, see what we're dealing with, and I think look around for a little bit before we start helping with this shipyard.
I agree. We can also, my other thought is like, in true video game fashion, we can just keep on trying to gather allies, see if there's anybody we can make friends with, like this leader dude, I forgot his title, but of Aucturn.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know how...
Yeah, the inner circle guy there is Ronan Steele.
But we're going against so many things that we don't want to let too many people know that we're
That's true.
planning on overthrowing an entire government.
That is a plan that is contingent on us not dying first.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to
And
make
also like not die.
allies and give ourselves a foundation to plan for that if it were to come.
Yes, indeed.
Well, for like, it could be nice because wasn't Aucturn like a protectorate? They didn't actually have a voice in the council or anything. So that might be something we could use as leverage, like, hey, we don't necessarily have to lead with like, hey, we're going to overthrow the government.
Yeah, we believe in you, and you
But-
should have representation.
But like we can like hey, you can actually be a part of it. Have a voice.
Have you ever heard about freedom?
Exactly. I love democracy.
Well, in the meantime, I seriously need an update. I've been pushing it off for the last couple of days. I'll be right back. I go to my closet and sort of plug in, update the UI.
Anybody else doing anything during this about 2.5 hour remaining time in Drift?
I want to go into our hollow deck or the training area. I want to practice unarmed combat.
Okay. Give me a. Is there a specific focus you're going with the unarmed combat, or just
I want
straight
to work
like a...
towards getting the improved unarmed combat feat.
Okay. Give me a
So like
unarmed strike.
So I'll work on, of course, like with like different punches in different forms, headbutts and kicks, and trying to mesh it into a new combat style.
Cool.
That is a 12.
You're not sure if it's in your own head right now with all the new plot points that have popped up over the last couple days. Finding out Levada's kind of used your achievements to advance herself. Finding out that she's been working with the Inner Circle directly for presumably years. That the Inner Circle is probably betraying you the instant you get into a winning position. Raya potentially not trusting you anymore. It's a good workout, but you're not really seeing much progress that you are wanting to see. The big thing is it seems like you're in your own head, and you're probably going to need a little bit more time to like deal with that first, to then focus on the actual improvement you're looking for.
100%. I think that's all I wanted to do.
Anybody else?
I kind of wanted to take a different approach. I'm going to. I see that T is in the like workout room. So I'm gonna go into. I forget what the room is called, where I can like turn the walls into whatever I want.
That's where T's at,
kind
but
of
we could say
like,
you either go in after him, or you guys set up a partition so you can both work at the same time.
or can I just? Can I do the same thing in my room? Or is it?
If you're just pulling up like the infosphere or something like that, yes. If you're trying to make it look like something else, you guys haven't really installed that into your guys' personal rooms.
Okay, yeah, then I'll partition with T,
Okay.
and kind of realizing the predicament that we're in, where we're going to go into battle and we might possibly die, and I'm more concerned about what the future is going to look like. Again, if we're overthrowing a government, something else is to replace it, so I'm kind of realizing all of that, and then I want to go back to some of my memories of my home, and I don't know, just sit and reminisce, and I don't know. But yeah.
Are you just like bringing up locations from your childhood, or are you trying to like link with the computer to like replay memories?
I think just replay some memories.
Okay. Give me either a life science or a mysticism to see how well the connection goes with the computer.
rolled a 12 in life science. I have a 13.
Okay, so like a 25.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to play whenever like you're growing up out on like the if I remember right, we had said that like your family grew up in like sort of like a farming community just outside of the main capital there, and it's one of those like playing hide and seek, running through like the equivalent of like the cornfields there. And before you started, you had been a little bit worried that that your memory is going to be tainted with current events. But to your delight, the memory is untainted, and it really sort of brightens your mood compared to all the news that you've gotten here recently. You remember, like, it's one of the happiest moments of running through, spending time with your father. He was trying to work, but you convinced him to play hide and seek for an hour or two before he got back to work, and it's one that you remember fondly.
Oh.
Yay.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Can everybody give me a mysticism check real quick?
Oh boy, I'm really good at these.
I mean, see, it's more of a
I got a
formality,
15.
but you said a 15?
Yeah.
Oh, not too bad. 15.
I have 15 plus a 10.
Oh, 25.
I have a +1.
Roll me anything today. Let's go.
T got a 30.
30,
Jesus.
22.
22.
What? Am I liver?
All the shoot does.
What about you, Elite?
I got a 6.
I figured if anyone was going to fail, it'd be you and John.
The clangers.
Elite, you're kind of doing your thing on the ship, and you're not really picking up on anything. For everybody else, as you guys are closing in towards the exit of the drifts, you've got maybe 15-20 minutes left. It seems that you're hearing 3 distinct voices deliberating, and as you're like trying to figure out where the voices are coming from, it's like they're coming from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. As much as you guys kind of like try, you can't find the source of these voices, so there's kind of like a questioning yourself on whether or not you're actually hearing them. But the part of the discussion you're able to make out is, first there's a female voice. Do you think they will be able to repel the Devourer's forces? Time is not in their favor, and they still do not truly know what they face. And then you'll hear sort of a transition to a robotic voice. They are still our best hope, even if most paths show them being betrayed and left for dead. And then it'll transition to an old man. We can always reset the board and give them more time. Galarian can wait a little longer for its return.
Oh!
And then finishing in unison. The Battle of Aucturn is still to be decided, and the fate of the universe lies in the outcome of the battle. After this, you don't hear any more voices, and you guys come out of drift shortly afterwards.
What in the mysticism check? Did John catch any of that?
Yeah, the only person that didn't get any of this was Elite.
Okay.
But I would say none of you are necessarily in the same room at the same when this happens.
Sure.
So none of you are sure that you actually heard any of it. Or if you're just hearing voices.
Sure. John just is sure that he doesn't know where it came from because he just gave himself an update.
He's like, unless he's gonna roll back the patch.
Yeah. I gotta read the patch notes.
With T's proficiency in mysticism, it's something he has to kind of tune out every once in a while. Not thinking that he's going mad, but like the voices and thoughts that he hears and understands can throw him off sometimes, but before writing it off, really started quickly paying attention, and is now kind of in contemplation of the group's previous discussion.
See, I would go as far to say, just because you're the only one that's really leaned into connection with a god, this feels eerily similar.
Oh,
So,
feels
like,
divine.
divine or like somehow benevolent?
At least some sort of entity beyond your capability is your inclination at the moment.
Well, if astral forces want to try to prove to us that we are incapable, I get a lot of satisfaction of proving them wrong. He just kind of mumbles to himself and continues to contemplate our own discussions and what has just been enlightened to him.
On a meta level, can I ask a question? The line, he said, we can just reset the board. Can you... Which voice was it that was saying that?
That was the old man voice.
Okay, alright. Alright.
The most I'll give you meta-wise is...
You don't need to clarify, I just...
You distinctly heard 3 voices.
3 voices. Okay. Okay.
When we're ready, I would like to go knock on T's door.
Yeah, T, not necessarily any kind of meditation, is just kind of deep within his thoughts. His antennae are glowing as he's digging through the deep recesses of his own mind and senses her approach. Oh, please come in.
I'm gonna like cautiously in, and again, with me having mysticism, but not necessarily diving too far into it. I think it's more of just being able to shoot but having more of like since I'm like a books and a historian.
You're like naturally spirited almost.
So I'm, yes, like so I'm like it's ghosts. Like I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, so like I cautiously come in and just try and sense, try and gauge T. Hey.
On a surface level, when you walk in, you see T. His antennae were kind of glowing, while looking as if he was reminiscing upon past journeys as he looked upon his trophy and relic wall. And you come in. What can I do for you, Raya?
I see you're kind of in the same boat, reminiscing. I also take a gander at his wall to kind of sense.
It looks like organized chaos of completely unambiguous rewards or things that he has stolen. Things that don't really look like have a lot of value. Some others, but you can assume that there's a lengthy story attached to each one. I like to come in here to think. Almost as if my past and the history of my uprising can give me the answers to the future. And then that message came in. Is that what you came in here to talk about?
I'm gonna like wide-eye turn to him quickly. Okay, so I'm not crazy. You heard the voice too.
Mysticism is a strange thing. It's almost as if you have another set of ears that most people are deaf to. But yes, I
Do you
heard.
recognize the voices?
I don't believe so. My connection to Besmara, it seems something similar. The forces of which we heard I don't believe this was an accident. That either one of those people on that discussion had enlightened us on it happening.
That's about to be worried.
Or somebody overheard that conversation and wanted it to be relayed to our group specifically. I think when we're headed to our destination, we need to be careful, but there may be somebody out there looking out for our best intentions. I can't say for certain who was talking about this, but the old man that was speaking, from what his opinion sounded like, is that if we fail or don't meet up to their expectations, they will throw more lambs to the slaughter in our place.
But this isn't the PWC. This seemed like it was something bigger than all of this. So do we have another player in all of this?
Naturally. I don't have a single doubt in my mind that that's what's happening. This is a single event that is going to be the destruction of an entire civilization or group of people, genocidal. Whether it's the swarm that we are eliminating from existence, or they do the same to us. To say that the PWC, the free captains, and ourselves are the only ones in this conflict, I would disagree.
For anybody inclined, if you'd like to recall information on the Devourer,
What kind of check would it be?
that one would be a, we'll go mysticism or historian, or a straight wisdom roll. Basically, it would be recalling information on him, and unfortunately, you don't have history as one of the options for study.
I'm going to pass. That's not John's forte.
29 for mysticism.
Okay.
Can I weigh in, even though I didn't hear voices and things?
Yeah, if you want to recall information on the Devourer, just in case it becomes relevant based off of future RP, go ahead.
Okay, hear me out. I don't know if this applies actually. As I'm reading it, I don't think it does, but that's fine. I'm going to say it anyways. I have this feature thing. It says reduce the DC of mysticism checks to recall knowledge about nihilistic religions, the negative energy plane, and
that does apply here. Yes.
That applies? Oh shit!
Yeah, that's good because I have a +0.
30.
Would you know that?
What'd you get?
I have a 5.
Well,
So
you know,
reduces
it's,
the DC by 5, so I guess I got a 10. You don't have to do anything about your DC, but
so you got a 10 overall.
basically, yeah.
Okay. Raya, what'd you have?
I got a 22.
Okay. We'll start with you, Elite. You vaguely recall there being some sort of what you would call zealots worshipping the Devourer, and something about him being like the end, but that's about as deep as it got for you, because you're like, I don't really believe in the whole religion thing, and you kind of blacked out any future information related to that. For everybody else, the Devourer, and Nia would have filled you in a little bit, because her faith also isn't a huge... They believe in the end of all things eventually, but they're not really a fan of the Devourer's approach, which is essentially he wants things to end as fast as possible, so his followers will intentionally do mass murders, like extinction event type stuff, in order to expedite the end of all things. So when they reference the Devourer in that, that's who they're referencing.
I see.
So is it like his followers that will commit mass genocide?
The way that their whole conversation was worded, it seems that they're implying that there's going to be a confrontation with the Devourer's forces soon. and they're worried about you being able to actually repel them. If you guys recall, during your confrontation with the Harvester, he called out the Devourer's name as well.
Interesting.
I don't want to connect all the dots for you, but that's about as far as I can go.
It's okay.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch every like YouTube episode that's out there.
You're like, this is the fucking problem with the DM that takes notes. Everything's connected.
Everything's connected.
Well, you know what's crazy? I was talking to someone about this the other day, but I remember like when I first started, I wasn't sure if this was something that I was gonna like stick with.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm just like here to have fun. Now I'm so invested.
Dude, and I'm here for it, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, this is like session 25. I wonder what session it was when you joined in. It was.
I think it was like
Session
three.
Three.
I
Wow.
think it was
Yeah.
three.
Damn.
So technically, it was her second session. Was your guys' third.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you've been there for way longer than
She
I
basically
thought.
misses still talent events, and that's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this shit, man. I'm gonna polish my gun, my boom rifle.
Yeah. Was there anything else for that conversation with that extra tidbit there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
So, was it just about this conversation, or did you want to speak about anything else?
I just wanted to make sure that the voices I heard were real.
To what I can understand,
Cranberry.
I don't know if that conversation happened real time, but it was definitely real. But I guess while you're in here, Raya, you called my allegiance in front of the entire group. When we eventually ended up finding information that justified our own conversations there afterward anyway. And I wanted your new thoughts.
The only thought I have is I want to make sure that we save as many worlds as we possibly can. There's no point in overthrowing anything, whether it's a person, a group, or a government, if we're just going to replace it with the same type of people. I look over at your wall and realizing these are all the things that you have stolen over your time. So I kind of try and reference those items. I just want to make sure that the future is the best future for all and not just for one.
It'd be interesting to see how your ideals line up when it's our lives on the line, instead of speaking about who is right and wrong.
Sometimes you have to do the wrong thing for the right of everyone.
30% of them are actually stolen items, the others are given to you.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I said sometimes you have to do the wrong thing for the right of everyone. I may not agree with all the plans, but like I said, my goal is to save as many planets.
Or at least we agree on that front. If there's anything else, and he'll gesture to the door.
I look over at his wall again and then back at T, and then I just walk out. And then I'm going to go back to my room and I'm going to like feverishly start doing research on the Devourer.
Attention, everybody!
Okay, so you guys only have a little bit of time before you're out of the drift. So the amount of information you're going to be able to get from the Devourer is pretty limited, but go ahead and give me either a historian or a Mississippi. Go ahead and give me a historian roll on how much you're able to dig up, and say you got about 15 minutes before you guys are expected to pop out of drift.
So for me, a historian is a 9 plus a 14.
Jesus. Dude, you haven't rolled lower than a 22 tonight.
I wish I was in combat. Like, because the whole thing of doing dirty stuff, I'm like, all highs. Combat, solid under 10.
So on top of the other stuff you've kind of read, the Devourer is essentially one of the common gods worshipped in the Pact Worlds. It's often depicted as a black hole with a gaping maw. Essentially, it is just consuming anything and everything. As you're researching more, a lot of the tactics associated with the Devourer align with the Swarm's approach to moving throughout the galaxy, where it consumes everything on a planet, which eventually leads to the planet corrupting and exploding from the weight of its own. Without the life essence of the core, it eventually crumbles, fracturing, and as they spread out through the galaxy,
It's like the cell walls break down.
more and more of the lights in the sky essentially go out as the swarm spread.
So do you, I guess on the meta level, so like, remember that one planet that we went to, and it was like draw energy from the, like, Earth, from the core?
Yeah, Castrovel, your homeworld.
Yeah. So wouldn't that, so would I make that connection that my...
Yes, you kind of had already made this connection that it was implied that your planet would have died if you guys hadn't intervened and stopped the swarm's progress on your planet.
But am I making the connection that it could be the Devourer that's behind that?
At a minimum, you get the inclination that the swarm believe in the Devourer. Whether or not they are agents of the Devourer or just believers of the Devourer, that connection you're not sure on, but as far as practicality goes, the difference is minimal because what they're doing has the same effect.
Okay.
Really good combo.
Midwinter's is a really good one.
I'm probably not going to share this information with the team, just because, again, I don't know if anybody else heard, and then with the tension between me and T, I'm probably just going to start saving that information.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you guys come out of drift...
Oh boy, here we go.
Do we just instantly hear the sounds of screaming souls?
While you guys might have been on edge just because you already have a map that showed that there were swarm vessels in the vicinity, specifically you knew that there was 3 orbiting the planet, nothing comes up on sensors. The only thing you're seeing at the moment is this black sort of fleshy looking planet. Even from orbit, you can see that it's like undulating.
Uh-oh.
Or at least you think it is. It's hard to tell if it's like a trick of the eye
Like
or if
gas
it actually
or
is
something?
happening or what. But even in orbit, you kind of get the icky vibe. Surrounding the planet, there is a myriad of disabled vessels and debris.
Oh shit! It's just like a shipyard graveyard.
You guys had found out during your previous research that there were battles during the gap that no one can remember, and that's part of where all this wreckage comes from. So it's believed that some battle happened during the gap involving Aucturn, presumably trying to civilize it. But you're not sure, and obviously didn't succeed because Aucturn is still here in the same state as before. You're able to pilot a route down to the planet itself if that's where you're wanting to go, but that's currently where you guys are. I would say, unless you guys choose not to, most of you guys have made your way up to the command deck at this point as you kind of came out of drift.
Holy cow.
And this is really the decision point on whether or not you go straight to the shipyards or if you try and go to the Black Citadel.
Guys, just as a player at the table, I want to fucking check out the Black Citadel. That shit sounds badass.
I agree.
So, do we have any of like the recording devices, like for the communication thing that Lovato gave us? Do we have anything similar to that can record surroundings?
Delilah's made some sort of like tracking and listening devices before, so between her and Raya making some wouldn't be too crazy. I think we did it as you need about 25 UPVs to be able to have the material to make it. So it's like 25 credits to make one. But I think, I can't remember how many you had on hand. I think you had a handful, like 3 or 4 left over from your guys' black market escapades.
Yeah,
Where did you at?
I, honest to God, don't know if you wrote it down or if I'd have to go back to the video and look at how many you made and how many you used. Hers were pretty basic because she made them in the bathroom while they were at a bar. So they had short. It was short range and only could listen, so no video. But if you guys wanted to dedicate time, it wouldn't be infeasible for you guys to make a couple before doing other things if you'd like.
We don't have comms, right?
You guys have comms inside
On the
your
ship, though, right?
No, in your guys' suits. It's part of the setup. So as long as you're wearing armor, you have internal comms.
Okay.
But that's communication to each other. As far as like recording and creating like surveillance, you would need something separate if that's where you're going with it, T, which is how I interpreted it.
And the students can communicate with each other. Is there like a distance, right? Like we have to be in the same room in order for us to communicate with one another?
It's treated like being able to talk with someone, so I think there's a cap on how far away. There is some spells that I think T has that have a little bit further range, but I think it's one way, or it's linked with specifically one person, unless he upcasts it, but I can't remember his limit at the moment.
Before we step out, can you give a description of the atmosphere? Because I know it's toxic in general, but like upon first like exposing ourselves to it.
Okay. First question is where you're going, because that changes the environment a little bit on how I describe it. So,
BC, baby.
With the conversation still weighing on my mind between Raya and T, I don't think T is going to share an opinion on where we are going.
So I've got the general consensus as at the moment for the Black Citadel. Is there any arguments against that?
What is the Black Citadel again?
That's where the Ichor King resides, which is kind of like the leader of Aucturn. As close as you get to that on this planet.
Same, but different.
So, would the plan be to be sneaky, or do we want to make our presence?
Well, we don't have to be sneaky.
I was going to say, the way you guys have described it is you were trying to get it in with the king first.
Yes.
To have him on your side before you went to the shipyard.
Okay.
You want to be up front with the Ichor King is what I got, but maybe not the inner circle privy, so there might still be a stealth component. I don't know. That would be more of a piloting aspect.
If we enter the Citadel with our motives being more reliant on stealth, we'll be, if caught or not, we'll be putting in the precedent of mistrust from the very beginning.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's fun.
As you guys are...
I say we just go.
Perfect. As you guys are kind of skimming across the surface towards where the infosphere has kind of directed you towards the Black Citadel, the thing that's kind of weird, even as you got it pulled up in the Black Citadel, is the pinpoint keeps moving around. Like, it stays within, like, a general circle, but, like, the exact location of the Black Citadel seems to be shifting even as you're traversing the planet. And you quickly get the, like, even just looking out of the view screen over the surface as you guys are flying low level here, it is kind of like a pinkish reddish hue to the planet that distinctly looks like flesh. Like, if you didn't know better, you would be touching skin. The hills and the mountains look like tumors, essentially.
Like abscesses and growths?
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude. What?
There are what appear to be like tumbleweeds, but as you kind of like look at them closer, they're just gas clouds that are like floating across the surface.
Wow.
So it's like a greenish hue to them. The rivers seem to be pleasant until you take a closer look, and they're a deep black ichor. So it's kind of like a sludge sort of appearance to them. As you come up to the actual Black Citadel itself, it is a large tumor, so there's a multitude of like tumors leading up to a large sort of like tower. So it's like multitude of like towers, essentially. What gives it its name is there's veins of black ichor throughout the different tumors, kind of all over the place. So it seems to be like dripping this black ichor constantly.
Oh boy!
You're able to land. You're able to land within walking distance of the front there. As you start making your way up, there is some Oricons. They don't attack you, but let me get a good image of them.
Yeah, that's what John's face looks like right now.
So as you guys kind of make your way up,
it's places like these that make me want to stay robot.
there's some creatures that look like this that are kind of out front the main gates. They kind of like look at you, but since you haven't really made any hostile intentions at the moment, they seem to let you pass deeper into the Citadel.
Can I jump in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
With T's previous experience on this planet, he's going to cast life bubble around the party.
Perfect.
It's going to protect us from the atmosphere.
And
Hell
T,
yeah.
you would be intimately aware of these creatures. While these ones seem to be fairly docile compared to with the ones that you faced, the other ones were ferocious, and it took multiple killing shots before they would stop going after you.
Jesus.
Everyone, I need you to remain calm. If there is one that has the intent to kill, it would have done so already. Just keep your eyes open.
How many landed the ship?
Oh yeah, you guys are walking into the Citadel. At this point.
T is going to cast life bubble over the party. There's this almost gold light color that shimmers out, like almost like an aura is radiating from T himself. But all of a sudden, like the climate and the temperature seems to be quite regulated compared to what we were walking through.
Yeah. Prior to T casting the life bubble, there would have been sort of like a hazy film. You guys would have been struggling to breathe for those that needed to breathe. I think the exceptions would have been John and Raya. John, Raya, and Elite. Raya because of your Aeon Crystal. For everybody else, it would have been tough to breathe. The hazy sort of aspect you quickly realized after life bubble was cast was due to like the hallucinogenic sort of gases in the air.
Oh shit, okay.
With that, it clears up, which is great in the aspect that you're breathing comfortably. The downside is you're for sure what you're seeing, and it is basically out of your nightmares as far as even the inner part of this construct seems to be, for whatever reason, the flesh has grown this way, and it's got openings allowing you to kind of enter in, sort of like
sphincters, if you will.
Yeah, sort of like the mind flayer sort of things where the flesh opens up, and the sound
I hate everything about
is
this.
exactly what you would imagine it to be. Like
With T's previous experience here, now seeing it with a clearer mind and the ability to prevent the mind-altering things that happen, is not sure what he would prefer, seeing the real thing or visions of difference.
I will, at this point, not that I have any reason to feel like any hostile rather. I'm gonna pull my boom rifle out, and I'm gonna stay on Delilah's 6. He's starting to feel a little like he was nervous coming in, but like now that we're approaching the Citadel itself, feeling pretty overwhelmed.
The Oricons that were sort of glancing at you but letting you pass will sort of now keep their full attention on you as you continue to pass. They are not letting you out of their sights now.
Yeah, that's fine. Take a fucking look. Take a picture. It'll last longer.
Just for the groups to keep in mind, life bubble lasts for an entire day, but if we go more than 30 feet apart, you will no longer be in the bubble.
Oh, so we don't have our own
You
individual
guys have to
things?
stay close to me.
I see. Okay.
Basically, T's radiating aura.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
farming.
aura farming. Yeah.
Oh my god.
As you guys...
I
Okay,
just
go ahead.
noted that I'm in my power armor. That's it too.
Perfect. As you guys continue making your way in, eventually you come up to more or less a throne room. It doesn't have the same sort of like prestige that you would associate with a throne room. Like there's room for people to kind of like come in and present themselves to the Ichor King, but it's more of like a widened hallway leading up to the throne where you see I think it's Kai's. Give me just a sec.
It's not a tumor.
The Ichor King in all his glory, sitting on his throne.
Oh my lord. Can you pull that bitch up?
You cancel that.
He's handsome. Dapper.
What?
Like a Demigorgon bird.
Can you put it on the other screen?
I dropped it in the chat for you guys. I pulled it up.
Oh shoot. Sorry, I don't have
Oh
to
shit, dude, that's like a Skeksis and a Demigorgon put together.
This is...
Like drinking like syrup or something. See how
That's not syrup, dude.
No.
Definitely syrup. Definitely syrup.
He is holding that cup there, and it is clearly the Black Ichor. In fact, there is one of the sort of like waterfall veins on the wall goes right by his throne, and as he finishes the cup that he currently has, he kind of just sticks it into the waterfall and then proceeds to continue consuming it.
Oh boy.
This is
Are there humanoids?
Carsai, so it's Carsai.
Carsai.
So it's Carsai the King. You were saying, Ryan?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Or were you asking?
Were there are there formal guards in here? Like,
There's more of those Oricons
Yeah.
sort of standing in here. It's hard for you to kind of like relate it to what you would expect of like a king per se,
It's just so
because
different.
instead of like being in like royal like garb with like a weapon, they're just off to the side of his throne in their natural state. So
Sure.
literally the only thing wearing any accoutrements is him.
okay. Greetings. We have come to speak to you, the leader. And I'll just like give a very robotic bow forward. Still holding my boomer rifle.
Yes.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Welcome to Aucturn. I hope you find it pleasant.
Yes, it.
Well,
It was
over
better than I
at
expected, to be honest. My name is T, with the free captains.
Oh, the free captains have been here for some time now. Most of them don't like it.
I didn't like it my first time either, but it is a pleasure meeting you.
Go ahead, Raya. Please say something. Don's staring at us in a way, guys. You should.
He's like doing like.
It's like rocking back and forth, dude.
Have you tried the Black Ichor?
I haven't.
I think you'd like it, John. Don't be rude. It was offered.
Yes. Not from this cup, though. You'll need your own.
I have my own special cup, and I go to the waterfall and just pull out another glass vial that I have. I'll save this for later, maybe. Thank you, very, very kind. Just have my person.
You take the sip.
Throw it into the plant behind me that turns into ash.
The flesh plant that grows larger.
Yeah.
He's actually curious and kind of wants to try it.
Oh my god.
Are you actually trying it, Elite?
Yeah. I'll be like,
Go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
I'll try it.
Oh
I'm gonna try to casually ask in like a not threatening or like mean way, like what exactly is it as I'm like actively drinking it.
Oh.
It is the truth.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That's a 15.
Okay. Elite, it is definitely tough on your system, and like you don't necessarily have the same sort of automated systems that John does with it, but even your android body is given some red flags of like unknown like properties of this.
Carcinogens.
Like it doesn't know what is in it and how to process it. There's a brief sort of like haze before your system's able to like clean it out. So you get the impression that the hallucinogenic properties of this Ichor is through the roof, and that anybody that's consuming this on the regular is not on the same like plane of existence as everybody else.
If he gets the second condition from it, I can clear it.
He passed the
Okay.
DC.
Excellent. Also, I realized if I failed, I was going to say this, and now I'm already saying it, so yay. I have a +2 racial bonus against like poison, which I guess this would count, right? And some other things.
Yes. If it had mattered,
A little bit
you
less
would have
than
had it.
that, but that's okay.
I'll sort of take a step forward after Elite has. Oh my god, dude! after Elite has sort of taken a little sip, we were coming to have a specific conversation with you, my liege, my dirty king.
Oh my god.
I want to say something real quick as well, if it's okay. Just like off of the drinking and stuff. I'm just gonna tell this, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is pretty bad.
Well,
The truth is hard to swallow for some people.
Oh shit, dude!
you have had the Ichor. It takes time to understand the truth of things.
It showed me things I didn't want to see before.
Take your word for it.
Most things that are true are things we don't want to hear or see.
He just said the same thing as you.
I'm a wise guy, John.
While I find your comments offensive, please carry on. I am the most prestigious of kings.
Yes.
You must not have seen most of Aucturn if you think I am dirty.
Sorry, I thought you might like a compliment like that. It really came from a place of sincerity. I can understand why that was very rude and out of place. So why don't we just do a little bit of a reset?
How would you like us to address you, King?
I am the Ichor King. Carsai is what my friends call me, but we're not there yet, so Ichor King will do.
Carsai. That's like carcinogen. I like it.
So, why do you think the PWC doesn't want you to have representation in the Pact, in their council?
They're afraid of what we know on Aucturn and what we protect.
Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we find ourselves in a very similar predicament.
What do you know that they don't like?
They always have rumors associated with Aucturn. And I am here to say most of them are right.
I appreciate the honesty.
There's no reason to not tell the truth. Most of them can't handle it and leave this planet once they know it.
So, the question I have, with the PWC setting up a base, a camp of operations, what is the reason why you were trying to expel them from the world?
Well, my reign only goes so far. Not all of the creatures on Aucturn are as enlightened as I am.
With your enlightenment, would you say that their presence here is fine?
Their presence is acceptable to us only because they are trying to fight the swarm. We are not too worried about the swarm. None of their kind would be able to survive on our planet even if they attempted. That is why their ships in orbit have not tried to land.
So, with what your civilization based around the truth, do you know what the swarm are actively planning and what is to come?
Yes. But they will not be able to end Aucturn.
But everyone else?
I am only concerned with what Aucturn holds and protects.
What do you know about the Devourer?
Probably as much as anybody else. He consumes all.
Much like you consume your Ichor?
I have to stay level-headed.
This guy's giving me the creep.
You can't even see him.
You're sitting there oscillating like a goddamn slow ceiling
Dude,
fan.
he looks like he needs to be put down.
There's something behind his eyes.
There's a darkness. Like mouth flaps. Raya, what do you think?
Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, you.
I don't know, dude.
We don't want to cause any relationships to get soured here. We, in fact, when first coming to Aucturn as a group, wanted to at least make some kind of allegiance or at least let our intentions be known before trudging on your planet.
I can guarantee your safety within the confines of the Black Citadel's reach, which unfortunately is not nearly as far as you plan to go.
Are you aware of the way that the swarm is affecting other planets?
Yes,
And you're not scared that will happen here?
the swarm cannot thrive in a location like this.
Do you know that because they've tried before?
Yes. And also the fact that the 3 vessels in orbit have refused to land here. They've postured themselves for the impending attack.
It's also not too much out of character for a swarm to be on standby in orbit?
They have not tried to set a field site on my planet like they have all the others.
Is that because they're scared or they're waiting for the opportunity?
They are scared. Centuries ago, when they last tried, they all died.
Does that track with the gap?
It would have been the last swarm invasion. No one really gave a shit about Aucturn during that time period because
It's Aucturn.
primarily none of the populace in the Pact Worlds lives on Aucturn. In fact, they added Aucturn as a protectorate to kind of give an extra buffer between it, like the gap between solar systems and the main part of the Pact Worlds.
So you had mentioned that as long as we stay within the bounds of the Black Citadel, then we will remain safe. How far does the Black Citadel reach?
There's about a 50-mile radius around the Black Citadel.
Oh, so not far enough.
But where you're wanting to go is on the other side of the planet.
We have been tasked by the PWC to ensure that their shipyard does not get destroyed in the time that we are here for the upcoming swarm invasion.
I wish you luck.
Ryan, did you have something you wanted to ask real quick?
I wanted to ask if the reason they didn't survive is because of the environment, or if it was because he held them off. Like, did he kill the swarm?
The environment is designed to prevent anyone that thrives off of normal life to die. Every one of the creatures that thrives on Aucturn is designed to thrive on life-ending types of occurrences. The poisonous gases would kill most creatures, but there are creatures here that literally consume it. This Ichor drives most people insane, whereas I am growing.
I say this not to question your power, Ichor King, more to understand the truth. Why is it only safe here at the Citadel but nowhere else? Why doesn't your power expand further than the 50 miles?
Your conception on me having a large amount of power is misguided. I simply serve the one that will come.
Meaning?
The whole reason why Aucturn exists. It's a staging ground for when he is finally born. The reason why I can only give you a 50-mile radius is because the only other enlightened Oricons, and even then, as you see, it only goes so far, is within that 50-mile radius.
Are there others like you, Ichor King?
There are other advanced Oricons, but most of them continue to just attack on sight.
With the approximate location of where we are to be conducting our work for approximately a week, as he looks over to the group.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular we should be wary of that is in near proximity?
The biggest thing you should be worried of is the Briveth. They literally consume light.
Oh, fuck.
So
They will likely be, from my understanding, they attack the shipyards fairly regularly.
like a moth through the flame. Is it better to work in darkness, or is that where they set?
I don't know if there's a good precaution for them. You need the light to get your work done. Just be prepared.
As a environmental understanding, does this planet have the same daytime cycle?
No, it's irregular because the rotation of the planet is not
The
consistent.
length of a day, it varies.
Okay.
In addition to that, because of the distance, even whenever you have daylight, it is fairly dim, where it looks like
Interesting.
at,
It's
like,
really far away
at the
from the sun.
peak of like daylight, it would be like
Dusk.
dusk for us. Yeah.
Okay.
So like it's kind of like even on the best of circumstances, you're operating in twilight.
Who are you waiting to get reborn?
The outer god. We don't know which one yet.
The outer
Only
god?
The outer god.
Have you ever spoken to this individual?
They're an embryo.
The only reason why I asked, when we were in the drift, approaching this planet, the entirety of our group received a message. And while I'm not certain if it is the truth, or if it was unknown entities trying to relay a message.
Do you not know who owns the drift?
I do not. I believe this was actually said at some point, I don't remember.
That's Death, I thought.
Sorry, what?
Isn't Best Gath related to the Rift?
Besmaro?
That's Mara, sorry.
No, he knows who Besmara is.
It's a different entity. Like it wasn't it like a god that was like maybe not shunned, but it was
Yeah,
like
you're
deranged from the.
Okay, whoever would like, give me a historian roll. You guys now have advantage on the mysticism or historian roll for recalling this, since he's explicitly said that it's related to the drift.
Because that was explicitly said, my DC is reduced by 5.
Wait, why?
Because I'm a cool mystic. Because it's related
But
to
you
religious
picked
figures.
scholar, right? Didn't you? Yeah.
You said historian?
Because you're a what?
Historian specifically for Raya, because she has that as a profession.
Oh, I will try, but I don't
Yeah.
have good mysticism.
19, but my DC will be
I
reduced
think
by
my
5.
mysticism was 11. I just logged out.
I got a 26.
Perfect.
Wild.
You
I
said
got
what?
an 18.
18? Oh, nice, Elite. That's actually pretty impressive. Don't you have a flat roll for that one?
Yeah.
4 for me.
Yeah, it's nice to get rolled all day.
I think that might actually be your highest roll for the entire campaign at this point.
You take it up to, yeah.
All right.
I rolled a 6, and I think my modifier is 11.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I think it's at least
Yeah, 11.
Yeah. So everybody except for John, you would recall that when you guys were doing research before on gods, specifically when you were trying to track down Rejuvenor, you had kind of linked up with Triune,
Yeah, the
Techno
three-headed
a
god.
three-faced god.
Yes,
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah.
So it's an
remember the
amalgamation
lore.
of 3 previous gods. So 3 techno gods merged into one and became Triune.
Yeah, I remembered the lore, but not the name. But it's more or less they were maybe not estranged from the pantheon, but they were set to.
There is some sketchy lore associated with them. So like the gap coincides with the arrival of Triune. Drift travel came from when Triune was created. Also, Galarian went missing
So
with the arrival of Triune.
it can be assumed that the 3 voices were the 3 heads talking in.
Between
fuck.
what you heard,
Interesting.
what you know about the god, and what the Ichor King just said as far as who owns the drift, it wouldn't be far-fetched to put that together.
So, really quickly, you're trying to imply that the embryo upon which that you are maintaining is related to Triune?
No. Ours is an outer god, one of the old ones. He asked me if the voices he heard in the drift were the same.
I understand. Forgive my ignorance. I've been relatively new into understanding the pantheon and the forces that lead us.
They are very vast.
They are. So enlighten me on the old gods.
They were here before anyone else was. Their power dwindled some, but they are patient. They're always here. And they will take what's theirs when the time comes.
Is the Devourer an old god?
No. The Devourer is a mistake. He has come to end all that was created because he does not feel that it should have been created in the first place.
But yet you feel that
He will not touch Aucturn. And that's all that matters because the old gods will take care of him when the time comes.
I say this only in respect to how much you value the truth. Not taking action now against the swarm could be the end of Octaville.
Give me a persuasion roll. Or a diplomacy check.
Wow. Come on.
I'm going to put my foot in my mouth
Oh,
and word that
anytime
a
it
little
goes
better. In fact, I will just take, almost as if it was in the same line of thinking for my diplomatic approach, we could do something really truly great together if you act with us now. And I will roll it.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on.
Oh. My diplomacy is a 22
Oh.
from a 16.
Yeah.
I think you were the first one to come to Aucturn with the flicker that we look for.
I have that effect on people.
What do you have proposed? We do not leave this planet. We do not have technology to leave it, and we have no intention of leaving it. What is it you want the Ichor King Carsai to do for you?
We are not exactly allied with the PWC. In fact, we have recently gained intel that they will annihilate us given any hint that we are winning or helping them in any large capacity.
That
What I
seems to be
suggest-
their case. They like the status quo.
And we will.
You like to live on the edge, on the unknown.
Oh my god, dude.
A lot of my life revolves around the unknown, and at first I thought it plagued me, but that's different. And your thoughts on truth resonates with that a little bit. What I suggest, I think we set up a coup. The swarm that are out here, that have been patiently waiting for a time to strike from your orbit. If you can help us create some amount of assurances that they will have a safe entry onto this planet, we will help you eliminate them. With
Yes.
the pretenses that maybe we could get some help from yourself and some of the other monarchs here.
Quite literally use chemical warfare from your planet.
To your point, they will not land, even if we give them a landing strip that is safe. They are connected to the hive mind. The hive mind remembers. It knows. It knows what this planet is. They are only using this orbit because it leads on to the rest of the PWC. What I can give you, come here.
John starts sweating oil a little bit. he walks forward. He respectfully puts his boomer rifle on his back.
So you'll see one of the claws sort of like touch your forehead, and in your memory banks, it
My eyes go
activates
cross-eyed.
essentially a tracker, and it is an active location of all 3 swarm vessels in orbit, and it is current location, so you can see the dots moving in orbit. You're not sure how it's working, but whatever he did, you know where they are, and effectively, if you have strong enough weapon, you can take them out instantly.
We don't want to disrupt the life and environment that you are setting up for the embryo to be ready for its rebirth. We don't want to disrupt that and appreciate your allegiance. But we want you to have a world to come back to once this is all done.
Aucturn will remain. But if you can get the PWC to stop trying to interfere with the environment here, we are happy to give you safe passage to the shipyards.
Can that extend to the free captains?
The free captains, do they intend on landing on the planet?
I'm not certain. But with the PWC potentially turning on the free captains in the coming fight, this could prove as a peaceful respite for us, should we respect one another enough.
We can, for those that you know by image, protect if they were to land on the planet. I am connected to it.
Understood.
But any free captains that you do not know by name or face, I can't make no so promises. Once you are to the shipyards, I cannot remain there indefinitely. Once I leave, the protection is gone, and you will have to do your best with Ronin steel.
That is reasonable. I appreciate you being willing to cooperate and have negotiations.
To link.
I'm going to, like, with the physical contact, I'm going to try to link minds with with the Ichor King.
Oh shit! Okay.
His mind is open.
Not in an invasive way, but
Right. Give me a intelligence save.
He wants to inadvertently read his mind. His most private.
He isn't prohibiting you. This is more what you're encountering once you go into the mind there.
Gotcha.
okay. What? Fortitude, reflex, will, or
Yeah, give me a will. Sorry, I forget, but there's just enough differences between it and
Right.
that
24.
perfect. And it's not like he was trying to attack you mentally when you went in. It's just as soon as you enter his mind, it is like nothing you've ever experienced
Yeah,
before.
I'd assume just the appalling nature of his mind in general.
It's not necessarily appalling. It's just you quickly realize that why he is constantly unsettling is he's seeing so many things at once that it's hard to put together what is happening. Like, even the brief part that you're in his mind, you feel like you've seen past, present, and future all at once on multiple locations on the planet.
I get internal mental whiplash from the encounter, but I'll try to stabilize enough to be able to meet him from a mental connection.
All of the free captains that you know are now protected.
Understood. If you need anything, Ichor King.
I'm sick.
The Revengers are here to help.
I am glad we are now friends. It is quite the trek to the shipyards. If you would like to go by ship, we will clear the air for you.
That would be
Much appreciated.
appreciated. Thank you.
Is there any other business that you would like to discuss?
I look over to the group.
Okay.
Now that we have tethered our minds, I have a question.
Yes.
Did you sense anything within myself that seemed foreign or aggressive?
Are you referring to your nature as X?
I try not to relieve this facade of the diplomat, but it cracks as I hesitate to answer. Yes.
Yes, I sensed him.
Is this something I should lean into? Because it seems like the truth, but it seems like a lie at the same time.
I don't know if lean into is the right word. I would use accept. You need to accept that X is part of you and always has been.
I will reflect on this. Thank you.
He will bring you strength when you need it most. He's always tried to protect you.
I worry when I don't need it.
He only protects. If you don't guide him on how to protect, he will do it his way.
I appreciate your insight.
My halls are always welcome to the Revengers.
T bows and then does the like in the same motion will go in circles a little
Oh my
bit.
god.
Alright. As you guys make your way back out to the ship, you'll notice that, and you're not sure how it's happening, the sort of like hazy cloud-like atmosphere will kind of part like the Red Sea as you're walking out to the ship. And once you fire up the ship to start heading towards the shipyards, the column will widen to give the ship a berth, basically making it this very, very smooth flying across.
Wow.
Can I take a quick break?
Yep, I was actually going to say, let's take a quick 5-minute, 10-minute-ish, and then we'll get back into it and probably finish off about, get at least introduced with the shipyard itself and probably call it after that.
Cool. So we're making our way to the shipyard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Ichor King had said that like the atmosphere and like all the like cloud and poisonous thoughts is like part like the Red Sea when our spaceship travels through it.
Oh, cool. Oh, shit. Okay.
We were given safe passage. I would assume just within the bounds of the 50-mile radius, right?
What's different than what you expected is it actually extends all the way. Presumably, if you guys had been on foot, he wouldn't have been able to keep creatures from coming towards you, but since you're in the air,
Oh, okay.
it seems like he has at least some
Influence?
control over like the environmental aspect of the planet.
Oh, boy. Okay. Okay. Oh, this guy is not... This is like... You ever see those memes online where you like try to befriend the school shooter so you save yourself in there? I feel like this guy is that. You want him as your friend, not your enemy.
I've never watched videos about school shooters, but
Oh, no! Oh, boy. Oh. Anyways.
As we're in the ship, T is just gonna speak up. That went better than I expected, to be honest. I was expecting a little more stabbing and less talking.
Yes, to be honest, I was not sure there for a minute if we were going to all lose our lives or not. But all things considered, I think that went very well. We wanted to go to Aucturn to find an ally, and by George, we did it.
Wasn't this your idea at first to begin with?
Yes, and that's why I'm very smart.
Good. Also, this might be really dumb of me, but I'm very curious about the Ichor. I want to hallucinate.
I'm sure Homeboy can hook you up.
Yeah.
I feel like I might die though from
I
Elite's experience.
She has a full cup waiting for you.
yes, I pull out a
I
little
do have to make a substitution. I'm just throwing that out there.
T will kind of look at you as you pull out the cup. This will show you the truth.
So just don't take all of it because I want to test this back on the ship.
I'm
you
scared.
are at the ship.
Well, when we're not busy, I want to fucking look at it. Thanks.
Well, Will I die if I take this elite?
What did it taste like? Did it taste insightful?
I mean, like, I'm gonna say it tastes like the color black. You know,
That's not
not very good. But I don't know. I feel like I ascertained you could probably get a pretty nice high off of it, and besides that, it's still probably really bad for you. So.
I think it would be smart for you to try it out.
I should have asked
But here's the thing, you should try it at least once, you know?
I feel like he may be the wrong person to ask.
Well, he
He's too far one way on the spectrum.
I feel like we can be honest
A
if
little
you're gonna kill me
biased.
or not, though.
No,
Elite standing.
he would tell you that it would make you see the truth.
Well, Elite said he can filter out poison or something.
I can help if you get sick.
Should we wait till after we
I
get the shipyard
no,
safely?
I think you should definitely do it right now.
You're probably in the safest hands now.
I'm gonna like dip my little.
Just rub it in your gums.
No, I'm gonna like do a little dip on it. Do some
I
drops.
want some of the truth.
I can't remember. There's some sci-fi movie where it's like a fucking Listerine strip is like the drug, and you just like place it on your tongue.
I feel like I remember that movie. I can't remember what it was though. Anyway, so that's what I do. I want to see if that's enough.
She wants a microdose. Yeah.
Give me a Constitution save.
Oh boy.
So, fortitude, reflex, will.
Right there.
Probably fortitude.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
that's ability score. Oh.
Yeah, you should still have con save,
Oh, is it?
or I guess a con.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, a con check. I
Oh,
guess it would be
con-
fortitude would be the
Saving
save.
throw. Okay.
Ooh.
8. Oh no, guys.
Your pupils dilate and you fucking pass
So-
out.
As this hits, so those of you that have seen Heroes, like whenever the people that can tell the future, like would activate their ability, their eyes would roll back and you
Yes.
can see the white of their eyes. That happens to you, Delilah, almost immediately. And similar to when T connected with the Ichor King, all of a sudden you're seeing all kinds of stuff all at once. And it is very, very tough for your mind to kind of handle what's happening. You're seeing flashes of a battle, and you can see the debris over in orbit around Aucturn. So it seems like it's the Battle of Aucturn to come. You can see a bunch of what appear to be like the Sicilian whips that you've been fighting as far as swarm, plus some like harvester style vessels in orbit moving in. Basically like all kinds of laser firing, and then it flashes away, and you're seeing your life on Absalom Station in the Black Market District. You're not really piecing it together at the moment, but you see your parents getting handed credits as you're pushed forward. It flashes again, and you're seeing what looks to be like a compound with like laser fencing and like ships in it, as a creature is coming up on it, and all the lights go out, and then it flashes again, and you're seeing basically what's happening around you on the ship, but it's like removed, where you're like an aerial view of like you're seeing John and T and Raya sort of like over you, like kind of like shaking you with your like eyes widened out, and so it's like an out of body experience sort of thing. And then eventually like you come to, and it's been about 15 minutes since you took that dose.
I want to slap the white face. Just like really like back like Delilah, wake up. Slap her dead.
I like woke up before he was pissed out the first time, and I wasn't with him enough.
I don't know about that.
What happened?
You are feeling a little queasy. You get the impression that unless you consume more of it, you'll probably be fine. It's like the worst fucking hangover you've ever had in your entire life.
Yeah, so that was intense, guys. I saw what happened with my parents, I guess. And then everything that he's talked about, you can see the battle, and I think something's going to happen to her when we go to this area. One of those light guys is going to get us. It's all too fast. But yeah, definitely if you want to know everything that's going to happen, you got to keep taking this.
Well, I mean, you dipped your towel in it, and the elite took a full drink, and he didn't seize like you just did. So maybe not you next time.
probably not the smallest one on the team, maybe.
The smallest one on the team. John will nervously, after hearing her say that, look at the rest of the sample that he has in the vial and think to himself, like, where is this truth coming from, you know? And how much time we got on the ship?
With you guys being inside the atmosphere, kind of like regulation requires you to fly with a certain speed, so you don't like basically ignite the atmosphere.
Sure.
So I'd say you guys got probably about an hour before you're arriving. It's still faster than on foot because it probably would have been a couple days minimum.
Flying to the other side of the planet,
Yeah,
basically,
so
right?
it would have been a little bit of a trek, even on like land ski or whatever. But with your ship, yeah, I'd say an hour or two max, unless you want to go slower. Well, you guys have plenty of time. You're like 6 days in advance right now.
I'd love to do some tests.
Listen,
No. If it's relevant, yeah, probably. Oh, did Ryan still there?
I think he dropped like 5 minutes ago. I don't know.
Ryan, did you have any thoughts on this? I haven't heard from you since we got back in, so I don't want to.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
Hello?
Yeah. You been here?
Okay. Yeah, sorry, it cut out for like a minute. So, maybe you guys didn't hear me earlier, but early in the conversation, I did like lean over to Delilah and be like, "Oh, what does black taste like?" But that was way back in the conversation.
No. What does black taste like?
You know, I didn't taste it too much. There was too much going on in my brain to worry about what it tasted like. I think I missed out on that part.
He missed the fun part.
Yeah.
Life-altering visions. Alright, T, you had a comment, I think.
despite how sketchy all of this has been, and how weirdly amiable the Ichor King
Yeah,
is,
a little too amiable if you ask me, dude.
I do think that making him an ally is what's going to be the best moving forward. Because we have seen what the Swarm is willing to do. On Castroville, it was mostly abandoned where they were building up anyway. Of course, there was still energy within the planet that they were siphoning off of. But here, if there is enough volatile things within the atmosphere, there's got to be something within the core that they'd be willing to sacrifice and use. It seems like they're keeping people, or at least vessels, in their general atmosphere to understand and know when the right time is to strike. Not that they are scared to do so. I believe that Ichor King is short-sighted. That if this is the planet between the rest of the solar system and because that's how it was described. Like,
Yeah.
this planet is the blocks the distance between.
Yeah, the way he described it is the PWC labeled Aucturn as protectorate, not because they see value in it, aside from it being a roadblock between the emptiness of space and the rest of the solar system.
And the rest of the PWC.
I see that if this planet is taken over by the swarm, its pseudo-blockade nature will be working against us. I think it would be short-sighted to not believe that this is part of what the swarm's plan is for the invasion.
I think if anything, we just created our backup plan because he did agree to give us a passage that would be safe for us to pass through.
No, for sure.
But we do need to get the PWC the hell out of here when we're done. He's only barely allowing them to stay here, but it seems that he is bound within his own limitations due to the proximity of the shipyard being too far away from his Black Citadel. Or at least that's the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
Despite how creepy and terrifying his visage in general was, he was more willing to work with us than our own allies currently. So despite if he may be using us or not, I think it's something that we should lean on.
No, that's exactly why we wanted to talk to him in the first place.
He's also upfront about his motives. Everybody else, we don't really know.
So, somebody who parades themselves as an arbiter of the truth is somebody I think we can more easily trust. But what does the rest of the group think?
I'm more concerned on who this, new god is going to be created. Born, what all that was about. And the fact that they're trying to stop it from being born. Is that kind of what I'm ending?
Yes.
No, they want it to be born. He didn't give you a timeline on the expectations on when this thing is being born, though.
I have reasons that cannot be explained. I have a feeling that we probably have some time before that thing comes out of the oven.
Yeah.
We don't have much. Oh, sorry, I need to use a robot voice. We don't have much. We don't have much to in way of allies, and I think the enemy of my enemy is my friend is definitely what the modus operandi we should be operating out of.
Honestly, he might have been a little off and a little creepy, but I still think he's kind of nice.
Our minds touched.
You're what?
Our minds touched.
And?
Honestly, it was not too dissimilar to what Delilah has referenced. Got visions of... Well, it's kind of hard to explain as Delilah, I'm sure, can attest to.
Are they visions of the past, or are they visions of the future?
I think they're visions of potential truths.
I think it's a cycle.
I want to know
what
what
happened or waiting to happen.
I think it's things that can happen that could be the truth, but has not been determined.
Sometimes it shows the past, though. So.
Yeah.
But he was forthcoming with every bit of information we asked of, was amiable about talking about alliances, and was even able to help us get passage here. I think he's more than proven that he's a more respectful ally than we even have currently.
Yes.
If nothing else, first of all, I agree, but also we know his motives, you know? He's trying to protect his family, his planet, to get this god to come through. He really could give a crap less about everything else. So, great.
I wish we could figure out what his purpose is, though, because he's not afraid of the swarm.
I
He
believe
didn't seem to be too worried about the new god.
I believe that the Ichor King is so confident in his defenses while on the planet that he's given himself and his people a false sense of security against the swarm, which is why I warned him against that. That said, I'm not sure of the volatile nature of this embryonic sac is going to show once it comes out, but for right now, the Ichor King may very well be an asset in our upcoming battle.
Yeah, I consider him an ally.
Good.
Oh, sorry, I just said I consider him an ally. You can go.
I agree. I think what we've seen denotes an ally and that he's like honest. I would also just say we also have no idea who this man is, and like really rather unfamiliar with like his character, like the creatures of this world. This world is rather different, and so either he is sincere or he is incredibly gifted in manipulation, like such that we can't understand. So like my only thing is like I think we do like trust him and like work on the relationship, but like be always cautious.
At the very least, people who are familiar with the Revengers will have at least a brief moment of safe haven here should we need it.
Yeah.
So if we need to escape, if the PWC does end up turning on us, we can come here, and at least we'll have the defenses of the atmosphere on our side.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose
Yeah, the serious.
Sorry, go ahead, Elite. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the atmosphere, natural predators that are here, and also hopefully growing alliance with Ichor King and maybe some of the other monarchs. Seems like that are here.
I'm not sure how far we'll get on that front with the other monarchs. In fact, maybe if we were able to work together in a more fluid way, I believe that we should try to push that the Ichor King extends his territory beyond into others.
That's a good idea, I think. Yeah. It did seem like what the Ichor King said is like the other monarchs seem to be a bit more animalistic, I guess. Right, a lot less cooperative.
While we're trying to theory craft here, I want to bring up a potential idea. The Ichor King is specifically trying to enrich and eventually hatch this embryonic sac with the individual inside. Do you think this is the common goal of all of the monarchs, or do they each individually have their own?
My thought process is I could be wrong, but like I totally took this like embryo and like god hatching thing as like their religion. Like I don't know.
That's the
if
vibe
it's,
I
like,
got too.
What's that?
That's the vibe I got as well.
Yeah. So I don't know. I personally wouldn't like worry about the embryo and stuff. Unless we can like actually like find more concrete evidence that there is one, it just kind of seems like a like their religion, like the second coming of Christ sort of thing.
But you don't think it's actually gonna happen?
I don't know. Elite doesn't.
Elite,
And
that
I don't
sounds
think
sacrilegious.
Elite doesn't, and like, even if it doesn't sound like it's gonna be within my lifetime. So I don't really care.
Yeah, I agree with
Says
that.
the android that lives indefinitely.
Yeah.
So he
To be
says
fair,
basically it's never gonna happen.
I'm not very well versed on the life expectancy of androids. I didn't realize they were eternal.
I mean, if that is how you feel, I mean, that's a very long time. It's almost like it's
Even still, like, with that knowledge, I think Elite still agrees, like, with the statement of, I don't think it's going to be within my lifetime. Partially because he also thinks he's going to die within, like, pretty, he always thinks he's going to die pretty quick, pretty soon, because he's always, like, he's just
In the fight.
hired muscle, and that's just his, like, lifestyle.
I don't think we should ignore the potential of this, but I think you're right. That it doesn't need to be on the forefront of our
Yeah, we
minds.
have bigger fish to fry
Yeah.
first.
Also, real quick.
I think when we find out
So
why people want
I
us.
disagree. I think they are trying to build a new god, and that might be part of the reason why the swarm is coming back, because they're trying, like, especially the Devourer. I don't think he wants
Competition.
competition.
I purely think that they want to inhabit this world so they can more easily access the rest of the solar system.
The pot. What?
Yeah, but what
So
if
here-
this new god is like the second Jesus, and he'll stop
If
the
there's no,
Devourer?
if there's no world for that god to inhabit in the first place, or to be able to finish gathering its life force while in the embryo, it's likely a non-issue for the swarm anyway. They win regardless.
And who knows? Maybe it's possible that over however long the swarm has existed, that there's some sort of evolutionary process dictating how the swarm lives on. And maybe they can, in fact, go down on the fucking planet, and the Ichor King has no idea.
Well, and think of it like this: if this entity within the embryo is such a big deal to the Ichor King, what's to stop the swarm from injecting its own little hive mind within it? I would think that is a real threat.
That sounds pretty freaking scary. Well, personally, here's where I stand on all of it. I think that it's fair to be worried about the machinations of the Ichor King, but this robot can only deal with one world-ending threat at a time.
Also, I think it's too early to be concerned about this god, because who's to say it's a bad god? Just because the Devourer and the Swarm is bad doesn't mean that the old gods are bad.
Fair. Honestly, the Ichor King's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I want to hire him to watch my kids.
Oh my god.
My non-existent kids.
Yeah.
Your kids are going to be high.
Yeah.
We can figure out from Ichor King later
Or tell the truth all the time.
what his god's ultimate, like,
Probably
what
wolf.
his goals are, and then decide if we need to be concerned.
Yeah.
And I think as far as the embryo god, dude, yeah, just get more information on it as we can, but it's probably not our top priority.
I think for right now we just treat him as a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anything else during this couple-hour flight? You said you wanted to test
yeah.
stuff.
I want to test this Ichor. I don't know. Maybe test, like, for maybe potential volatile compounds. And I would need to test a bunch of stuff. I have no reason to believe that this substance is the thing that the swarm doesn't like. It could very well be like the gases that exist in the atmosphere. So I don't know. I just want to kind of shoot my shot and see what I can find in this.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a life science roll.
Life science. You got it. Hold on.
Sorry.
Man, my rolls have been shit tonight. That's 12.
The biggest issue you're running into, John, is you don't, and similar to what you ran into with T's blood, is you don't have like a basis of comparison. So you're testing it and like you're getting the general chemical makeup of it.
Sure.
But like how that plays into the effects, you're not sure. There's a lot of chemicals in here that relate to hallucinogenics, which you're familiar with from Gleam Gazer's whole like narcotic nature with its poison that it'll infect.
Right.
So it seems to have properties similar to that.
Okay.
So which adds up with what you heard from Raya, or not, from Delilah after she consumed it, of it like giving her visions. You're not. There's a lot of properties though that you can't peg down. So is it causing her to have hallucinogenic properties, or is it her actually seeing vision
of some kind?
Right.
Okay.
The way the Ichor King seemed to talk, you're inclined to believe there's more to it than it just being a narcotic, but you don't have anything to really kind of base it off of. Basically, you've got your chem lab set up, and you're missing like 75% of the necessary components.
And I'm just handling a bunch of neurotoxin chemical.
Yeah, for fun.
Good. Sanitize, and I'll just kind of clean up shop once I'm done.
Okay. As you guys kind of make your way over to the shipyards, basically as you guys were briefed, the shipyards look similar to a large prison complex with high walls and a laser fence at the top. There's a landing pad inside, inside the whole basically perimeter there to allow you guys to kind of proceed uninhibited. The area around the shipyards is a grayish black and it's barren. However, it still has that flesh-like appearance, which may kind of keep perpetuating the belief that it is a living planet, or at least a living creature. The mountains on the horizon from the prison complex do look like those tumors that you kind of already seen and are seeming to pulsate every so often. You can also see some greenish clouds of poison that are moving across the surface similar to tumbleweeds. And due to the distance from the sun, while there's currently light out, the shadows are incredibly long, and the readings on the ship are showing that the temperature is incredibly cold. You're talking like in the teens right now.
Oh shit, okay.
Thankfully, your guys' suits do regulate temperature, so that should be a non-issue.
If they also stay in the life bubble, it will also do the same.
Yeah. The big thing is your ship readings are confirming the air is poisonous, so at a minimum, outside of the complex, you're going to need some form of protection in order to avoid the mix of drugs, mutagen, and poison in the air. As you guys land, you can see Ronan Steele coming up to your ship. He's red skin, sort of like, not dragonborn, but kind of like if like dinosaurs had fully evolved into like a humanoid sort of state.
Sure.
And that's where we're going to leave off.
Oh! Just for clarity before we end off here, the vessels from the free captains, were they able to join us in the drift, or are we waiting for them to arrive?
So, as you recall, the free captains are coming out for the Battle of Aucturn to come. They don't plan on joining at the shipyards.
Okay, alright.
Right, yeah, okay.